Hey, thanks for stopping by my channel. My name's Clarence. My channel is Alien Meatballs, and this is a channel all about board games with a heavy focus on solo board gaming. If you follow my channel, it's been way too long since I made a video, but in my last video, I had announced my new website where I'm selling off my games, so like pre-owned games, and I had said that the goal was to put up about 100 of them like by December. Well, I totally underestimated how long it was going to take to not only put the games on the site, but also overestimated how much time I was going to have during the holiday season with all my other stuff going on. So anyways, I think I got like 10 games on the site. But I'm still going to be uploading more. I still have like 100, 200 games that I need to get moving out of my collection. So I will be putting them on there. And there should already be more on there at the time of this video right now. And now that the holidays are gone, I should be able to start getting some more out there. That's at alienmeatballs.com. But so I apologize for that. Didn't go quite as planned, but it is live. Have sold some games. I truly appreciate those of you who have bought some games. And yeah, and then okay, so if you're new to the channel, I am the kind of solo board gamer. Like, I'm not the kind of solo board gamer that is looking for like quick games while I have time, fast setup, things that I hear a lot of people when I watch other videos and they talk about like their preferred solo game. They want it to be like pretty fast, low overhead, just be able to get into their game. I like those kind of games like a little bit, but really the ones that I like the most are like, I just like the best of the best games. Like the games that I would play with a huge group, like that's what I want. I just don't have those kind of players in my group. So I play games with my family, we play games all the time, but like I want the biggest, baddest, funnest game, lots of theme, mechanics, heavy. It can be light too, but I tend to like really big games. Basically any game that's fun, I'm playing it solo, and I don't really care. I say that with the caveat, but I don't really care if it's got a big setup and lots of rules overhead. But those ones do tend to make it to the table less because the obvious reasons, if I'm gonna have like Voidfall, for example, if it's gonna take me an hour to set up the game, that's definitely gonna factor into whether I can play it or not. And then also if I have to relearn the game every time, so that will segue into this. So today is my top 10 solo board games that came out in 2023 based on BGG. As long as I just always base my videos release dates off of BGG, then none should get like lost in a little hole. So I play a lot of games, and if I haven't played it in a month, I might already forget a lot of the rules, unfortunately. I don't know if it's like that for y'all too, but like I'll play a game, got it down, easy peasy, and then play a few more games, want to come back to it after a few months, and it's like, oh man, like I gotta pretty much relearn this whole thing. But if it's good enough, I'll do it. So, but on that note, this list, a lot of these games I haven't played since like at the beginning of 2023, and even if it was a few months ago, I already don't remember that clearly how to play them. But so I base this list on my memory of how fun it was, just like which one excites me the most and things like that. And yeah, so it's kind of funny too. So this is going to be a little, you can skip this if you want. I saw, I think it was on a Dice Tower video, someone went on there and commented on one of their videos. They were doing like one of their retakes, forget what they call it, but where they look back at like their top 10 list from a previous year and see how much it's changed. I thought it was really cool. Someone was on there, it really bothered them that the list can change. And, their argument, I guess, was that this isn't a definitive list. What's the point of this list if it's just going to change? And it's like, well, it's not a definitive list. It's a snapshot of like that point in time. And I think that's probably true for everybody because one, and I tried to explain it to him a little bit, but he wasn't getting it. So, I bailed out of that one. But you can't even, unless you play every single game, how can your list be definitive? Like if there's one game that you haven't played and then you play that game, that could affect you. So anyways, if you're watching this and you feel like that person or you're that person, this is a snapshot of how I feel like in this moment. If I do this video tomorrow, it could be a little bit different. For sure though, these are all amazing games. But yeah, all right. So I'm gonna get right into it, and I'm gonna do some honor. I'm gonna spit through some honorable mentions because, again, like I just said, like there's a top 10 list. I have like 20 games, probably 30 games that are like all amazing, and I would play them all. It's very hard to break this down and say which one's better than what because I'm looking for different things on different days, right? So, but for my honorable mentions, I have Voidfall, super big game. That one might go further down my list. It's a really good game, but you really have to get into it, I think, and start understanding the rules really well to probably get the best out of that game. And while I can play it and I get the rules, it's still like I'm still like figuring. It's very hard for me to strategize. And while I was strategizing, was I really strategizing? It's tough. It's a really good game. I think a lot of people will like it. It, no joke, took me like an hour to set up the game. Not only the first time, but also the second time. And then even with everything set up, I was like, okay, for sure. I'm going to replay it. Everything's out. Still took me like, I think 50 minutes, maybe even an hour. The setup, I don't even get when I think about it and what I'm setting up. I don't understand how it takes so long, but every single time. I think I've played 3 times, maybe 4 times. It takes me like an hour. So maybe that's a me problem, but good Lord, it takes a long time to set that game up. It's really fun though. And the solo is really cool. It's really, there's an AI built into it. But Voidfall is really cool. So Voidfall, The Witcher, Old World, really fun game. Running around, I really like the deck building and like the card mechanic on it. Oros is a really fun game. It's got like tile placement, but I really love how like the mathy puzzle to it, how like 4 tiles turn into 1, or like you can break down the islands, and it's very thematic. You're moving your people around on it. Thunder Road Vendetta, super fun. This one's probably my honorable mentions because I play it mostly with my family, but I did make some little AIs, and I play AI and it works out really well every time, and so I do play it solo. Play it solo mostly to create the AI, but it's most fun with other people. But I'd still play solo right now. It's basically the same game. One day I might write out the rules, but playing my AI that I created is one thing, because I know some of the stuff in my head, but to write it out in rules that other people would be able to understand, I'm still working on that. I also got a Lorcana AI that I just made that is working really well too. So if you're interested in Lorcana, I'd actually really like somebody to test it for me, as in reading my rules and seeing if it works for them without me, to see how well I wrote the rules out for the AI. If you're interested, comment, shoot me a message, and I'll send you the document. You can be the first person to test it out for me. Honorable mentions. Sorry, I gotta go through this faster. Masters of the Universe. It's a He-Man kind of game, really skirmishy, super fun. AI for like every character, so you can play. I love it. Like it's AI, and you can play against anybody and be anybody, and there's AI rules, simple rules for every character. Very cool. Seas of Havoc is like a boat, like you're pirates and sailing around, but it's got worker placement, and you're playing these boat cards that control like how you move in the water, like kind of like Tetris shape movements. You might go up 2 and to the left and trying to pick things up. Really cool. You're trying to line yourself up to shoot other boats. The solo AI is really cool. Wild Tiled West. This one is like my favorite tile placement game. It's on my honorable mentions because I really like that one the most with other people, but the solo mode in it is really good. But I'm less excited to play those kind of games solo. So while it's super awesome, when I'm playing solo, I'm usually looking for these more like thematic and bigger games. It's really good though. Highly, highly, highly recommend Wild Tiled West. Okay, let's get right to the top 10 list. So the top 10 solo games, or games that I play solo, that came out in 2023. And again, I say it that way because I don't care if it's a fan-based solo, whether I made a solo, I'm playing it. If it can be played solo, but I will say, I said most of these are like out-of-the-box solos. But if it's good, it's good. I could not care less how the solo came about. All right, so number 10. This was Arkeis or Arkeis. I'm not sure. I think it's Arkeis. Not positive, but this one is a like dungeon crawling kind of game, but it's very light and streamlined, and I really liked it. And it's got like 7 or 8 missions to a campaign, So I actually was able to beat the campaign. I never beat campaigns, but I knocked it out. I had like a day off from work and my family left, and I knocked it mostly out in one day and like another night. But yeah, you're just going through fighting monsters. You'll go into a room, it's got these cool 3D doors. You'll pull it off, it'll tell you what monster's in there, and you fight them. It's not really heavy, but for me, you have like I played as multiple characters, and each character has different weapons and cards, and like you're choosing which card you want to use. I don't remember exactly how it worked, but it was fun. Like there was decisions to make, and it was fun picking like which of my special abilities I wanted to use as a character and things like that. And the story alone was fun. I really enjoyed going through the story and seeing what was going to happen. So that was a really fun one. I enjoyed it solo. It'd be fun with other people too. But for a lighter and rules light like campaign game, I highly recommend it. And I'll actually be selling my copy because while I did like it, I beat it. But before I post it on the website, I'm going to buy like a recharge pack because it's like annoyingly legacy. Most of it is not legacy, but there's like one piece of paper where you're adding buildings to it as you play, but you kind of need that. So I think they sell recharge packs. I'm going to buy a recharge pack, put it all together, and then I'll put that for sale on the website. So if anyone wants to try it, I try to do the prices pretty fair, so you should be able to get a good deal, and I take really good care of my games. Only played it. I'm the only one who's touched it. All right. Number 9. This is Unmatched, the Tales to Amaze. So it's takes Unmatched and makes it cooperative. It gives you 2 different bosses that you can fight against using the Unmatched system. So I had never played the Unmatched system, but I got it for Tales to Amaze, and it works great. So, and I went out and bought more characters. Any of the characters can work, and it's really fun. Got a cool card system and fighting against AI bosses, and they got their little minions too. It's pretty smooth. And the main thing I want for that one is I wish there was like maybe 10 bosses I could pick from to fight. You know, right now there's only 2, and it might take them a while to get out more. It's Unmatched. They're definitely going to put out more. But that one's cool. If you want to play Unmatched in a solo or cooperative style, really fun. Number 8. This is Distilled. So this is a really fun like deck building game, but you're trying to make like different alcohols. And what's really fun is so you're building out, well, it's not deck building. I'm getting all twisted up. But you have like a deck of cards, and then when you want to make a drink of alcohol, you're going to put all your card ingredients in there that you want to use. So you just have cards. It's not deck building. And you'll take the ingredients that you want, put them into like a little deck, just like a hand of cards, mix it all up, and then you're going to pull out like 1 or 2 cards, I think the top and bottom. You remove them and then see which ones came out and hope that you have the ingredients left to make the recipe you were going for. So if you want to guarantee that you're going to be able to make the alcohol you want to make, then you need to put in like extra ingredients so that if yours gets pulled out, you still have it. So you can guarantee that you're going to be able to make your drink, or you can push your luck a little bit. You can say, you know what are the chances that 1 out of those 10 cards are going to come out and make a drink, and see if it works. So, and you can buy some equipment and stuff to build yourself up, make your operation a little bit better. Distilled is super fun. The production's really, really good. That's a fun game. And the solo mode is really good. The solo mode has like these little objectives that you're trying to go through, but yeah, it's done really well. You have these choices of like which way you go. It makes like this little like a pyramid looking shape, I forget, of like objectives that you're trying to get to the end and also get enough points along the way. It's really cool. Number 7 is Castles of Burgundy. So I played Castles of Burgundy a long time ago using like the original solo mode, if I remember. I don't know if it was like there was some kind of solo mode in it, but it wasn't that fun. It changed the whole game. And I remember reading the rules to Castles of Burgundy. I'm like, man, this game seems so fun. And then I played the solo and I was like, this is not the game. You're like trying to fill out your whole board. So which changes up the decision space, if I remember correctly. But the new one that Awakened Realms put out is really, really good. And you're actually playing against an AI. It's my favorite way to play it, because typically when you have an AI, you get to play the game itself against a competitor, which is how the designer had it in their mind when they made the game. Everything else kind of strays from that. I like plenty of games that stray from that, but my favorite is when I'm just playing the game the way the designer intended in the first place. And I don't mind controlling an AI. But in this one, Castles of Burgundy, it's a pretty straightforward AI anyways. If I remember correctly, it's not that like too much to think about or going on. So you're playing the game of Castles of Burgundy, and the production of this new one's really good too. I like how it has like the little plastic thing to hold your tiles, and it's just done really well. But if you liked Castles of Burgundy, and you can get, I don't know if you can get the new solo mode like outside of that, or if you can print it off or just buy that, but it's really good and way better than the original one. Okay, my number 6, and I hope this isn't a cheat. It's kind of a little bit of a cheat, but if it is, that's why I have a bunch of honorable mentions on there too, so you can just sub in one of those, you know, if you want to. But so this is Destinies, because they came out with the expansion Destinies Witchwood this year. And so they did, you know, they did release a new version or a new expansion to it this year. I don't usually, you know, I wasn't going through expansions, but Destinies is really good, so I went ahead and left it on there. I had factored it in when I was using Pub Meeple to do like my favorite games. I left it in there, and it was still there, so I guess I'm counting it. But if Destinies doesn't count, Voidfall was my number 11, so that would be shift everything down. Okay. So, but with Destinies, it's just really fun because it's super like thematic. You know, you have this map that you're gonna be like walking around on and like following. Oh my gosh, I'm blinking big time. But yeah, so in Destinies, you know, you're exploring out into this little world based on like cards. You have these like big square cards that build out pieces of the map, and you can see a little bit of them. And then once you walk out onto this part, you know, you see a little bit more. And so you really get this fun sense of exploration. And then it uses an app to let you like interact with all of the things and people in this world. So the sense of like being in this world and communicating with the people in this world is really strong. And just when you walk around, and I really love the combination of the app and like physical game. The way they come together is really nice, because you have all of the cards out, you have all the components, you have little minis for your people. There'll be tokens for like buildings. So there might be like a bakery over here or a priest standing over here. And you can go to either one, you can go into the bakery and then interact, and then use the app though, and it will tell you like, oh, you're talking to this person, start making some decisions, or go talk to the priest. And then you might go talk to the priest, and he might say he's gonna go somewhere, and then later on you go exploring and you see him over at this place, and it's like, oh yeah, that is where he said he was gonna go, or that's just where he ended up. And it's just so cool, like being in this world and seeing that happen. And you're trying, you have like a goal that you're trying to figure out. It feels like just the right amount of stress, like you're trying to get it done in time. So they released it, the one that they released this year with the expansion, they also have like updated the app and the rules and kind of tweaked like the exploration and things. It just balanced out how hard it is versus like how easy. Like you used to pick like Explorer or Challenger, whatever they're called, and it's like on the hard mode it was just like so hard, almost impossible, and on the Explorer mode was like nothing, that you couldn't lose. So I think I haven't like fully tested it, but it played good when I played it, and I believe they said that they tweaked that, so it's much better now. I never had too big of a problem with it to begin with, but I always lost, and I just guess it didn't bother me that bad to lose, because I still did all the exploring and talking. Like that's really the fun part to me. But yeah, super fun game if you want to get into this like kind of darker world. Not like super dark, but like just darker, and just explore around and talk to people and try to get told a story, and go like solve your fates or your quests. Really good. So that's Destinies Witchwood. Although the original is fun too. I would play any of them. It doesn't have to be the one that came out this year. Okay, number 5. This one is Scarface. This has been the longest since I played it. I remember loving this game. Super fun, like area control kind of game. You can build up little businesses in your areas. It's like gangster stuff going on. I really liked that one. I remember it's very thematic. It's deck building. I'm pretty sure it's deck building, and you're getting like your little deck of your gang members, and then trying to use that in combination with the area control. So I just love that. I really like area control in games, but I love it the most when you're using some really interesting mechanics to be able to control what's going on out there. That's way more interesting to me than being able to just move however you want. I want to be limited a little bit to like some fun Euro-y mechanics or deck building and stuff. So Scarface is really cool. There's an expansion coming out, so I'm sure I'll play it again when that comes out, and then I'll probably remember it better. Maybe I'll do another video. It'll probably pop up on more lists, and hopefully I can describe it a little bit better at that time. But it's really fun. I highly recommend it. Number 4 is Tales of the Red Dragon Inn. This game is like dungeon crawler kind of game. It's really cool. The first thing that comes to my mind about what I like about it so much is the story. It actually gives you like a big old page of story that you get to read, and sets like the build up for all of your characters, and they're talking, and then things are happening. And I've only gone through 4 missions, and I would say the weakest part of the story is I feel like in the grand scheme of things, a lot is not happening, but I'm reading a lot of words. So I started getting a little disappointed. I got to play more and see how that plays out. But either way, like I really love that it gives you a lot of story. Because when I'm playing like in these adventure games or dungeon crawl games, I want to get immersed into the world. And the more story you give me, the more, that I can do that. But the mechanics are fun too. Like your characters have their own little cards, and they have this little like cooldown, so you can use your cool abilities, but then they're gonna have to cool down for so many turns. And then some of your abilities, like some of your actions on your turn, you can use actions to cool down things faster. So there's a lot of thinking and strategizing between which of your abilities you're going to use and how you're going to use your actions, and it's really fun. The enemies that are coming out, you're just drawing like chips out of the bag, and it's going to tell you whose turn it is, and super fun. So a lot of the dungeon crawly kind of things, kind of similar to how other ones are. So your board though is like a big sheet of paper, like this big. You pull it out and it's got your whole board. It's got all the enemies information that will be in that map. So that's actually really cool. You pull it out. It's pretty fast setup. It's a neat idea. I wasn't sure how I would like that, like playing on a piece of paper, like if that would feel kind of cheesy, but it doesn't. And you have like a big old folder with like, I don't know, felt like I didn't go through them all. Felt like maybe 12 double-sided of those papers, and each one is like a different map you're going to go into. That means you're getting a lot of different scenarios and maps and enemies that can, even though you're using some of the same cardboard cutouts or standees, it might be this enemy on the next level might be a different version of that, because they can just it's very easy for them to give it some different rules, and you roll a dice on their turn and it will tell you which of their like actions they're going to do as an enemy. So it's really good. It's fun. You can see the things they might do, but you don't know exactly what they're going to do. It's a really good dungeon crawling game, and I hope that the story keeps going and gives me more story. It seems like it might. I'm starting getting worried. We'll see what happens. Number 3, this is Life of the Amazonia, and Amazonia. This one, I've actually only played it one time, but it really made a big impact on me. I just have been getting way too many new games. I keep playing all the new ones, but it's really fun. It's kind of like if you played Cascadia or games like that, where you're putting tiles together to try to get them in a certain position to score points off of each other. Like get 3 forest tiles with 1 frog, and you'll get 4 points, or like scoring points kind of like that, or get 3 frogs in a row. But what's cool is it's bag building. It's got like climbing up some tracks in order to get things, and that combination, as well as giving you really cool little like meeples for all the different animals. Like that whole package makes me want to play this any day over like Cascadia. And Cascadia is fine, but I don't get as excited about it. But this one, pulling things out of a bag adds randomness. Like I just like any time that a game is gonna make me work with what happens like to the perfect amount. You know, I don't want it to be complete randomness, but no randomness is not exciting. So these games are exciting because you got to work with what's coming out. And it's bag building, so you can actually build your bag up over time to help you like get spend. I think it was, if I remember correctly, it was like you're pulling out how much money you can spend, and I hope that's right. But there's like different animals you can kind of like buy to put into your rainforest area. And when you pull chips out of your bag, that's going to be like what you can do or how much you can spend. It's really something kind of like that. But the game is super fun. It's really good. I like it a lot. Number 2 is Kinfire Chronicles. This game is also not dungeon crawling, but no, this is like a boss battler, but it's like an adventure kind of one. So the kind of gameplay of it, you will be like on a little map fighting like a boss, but then you'll go through this like deck of cards that kind of tells like a story, like you're talking to people. You even go to these like city maps and kind of go to a few different locations, and it's very like narrative driven. You're communicating with lots of different people, learning about this town, and then you got to go fight like a boss, and then you'll learn more about this town, go fight a boss. I'm really not that huge into boss battlers, except when they do it like this. This one is fun because there's so much going on and building up like around the world in that boss fight. Then it's cool because I get really hooked into like the story. And but yeah, and then even the boss fight and that part is really cool too. This has like the deal where you're pulling chips out of a bag to determine like if it's your turn or the enemy's turn, and then the fighting is cool because you have a deck that you go into, and you can build this deck up over time. But so when you're playing this game solo, let me say that again, you're not building the deck up like within that match, but like as you're going through the cities and stuff, you'll make your deck better. Then you go in and you fight the boss, and you use your deck as is during that match. But then when you're done with that match, you can get new weapons for in your deck. While you're in the match, when you're playing solo, I'm playing as 2 different characters, and I think you would want to play as 2 different characters. I don't even remember if you can play as only one, I'm not sure. But 2, it's not too much to control, but there's very heavy mechanics in this game that let this character bounce off of this character. So it's I imagine this would be really fun in co-op too, but in solo it's really fun. So like this character is going to get extra points if this character is close to that enemy, so they're really working off of each other. And yeah, it's good, it's fun, I like it a lot, and the story is really fun. And yeah, it's man, I need to get back into this one too, but I played quite a bit. But basically in this one, like you have these like these lights that are keeping like the darkness away. And I think we were down to like what like the story starts, and you have like this one light, and everybody's kind of living in it, but it's like starting to fade out, and so you're starting to branch off and try to figure out what's happening, and that kind of sets the story. And then you're trying to adventure out and go help some other towns. Like it's very narrative, very cool, and the mechanics of fighting in these battles is very cool. So super win-win. And it has I don't know if it was Foreteller or their own app, but it has like a narration deal where you can have it like play the audio if you want to. So, and I was doing that on some of it, and some of it I just read it. But the Kinfire Chronicles is super duper cool. Gotta check it out. And then number 1, and yeah, even as I go down this list, this is for sure in the right order. I'm not Tamashi. I don't know if that's how you say it. Tamashi. It's probably Tamashi, but this game is super fun. Again, another like narrative driven kind of campaign, and within a game you'll be like walking on different tiles, flipping them over and exploring. That's fun because it just gives you that exploration. But then your main like action-y puzzle thing you're doing is on your board you have like a little grid where you'll be putting like little colored tiles, and you're trying to get these colored tiles like in a row, like 3 greens in a row or 3 blues in a row, and that's how you do certain actions. Once you do that, you can get these like cool like special abilities or actions, different things. But it's really fun trying to like play these little colored things on there, get them into certain orders, and then this just the story that goes on in the game is really cool. I'd say it's lighter. This is made by like Awaken Realms Light, I think, and it is lighter than their other games, but it still has like it's not light as in the way it feels. Like when you're playing it, it feels like a lot of game, but not too rules like heavy. You can get it down, but it still feels like you're doing a lot, making fun decisions. It's yeah, it's really cool. And then the world is like cyberpunk and just really fun to like be in this world, roaming around doing those things. So that's a super cool one. It's really fun. Highly recommend checking that out. I got it on Kickstarter. I saw it at my local retail store. So I don't know. He might have got it off Kickstarter though. So I don't know if that's coming out to retail or not. But if you can get your hands on it, that's definitely a fun one for sure. All right, so that's my top 10 games that came out in 2023. So many good games, and there's even others I didn't mention, you know, even on the honorable mentions. Like, so many good games are coming out right now, and it's bittersweet because obviously we want lots of fun games, but it's like the bittersweet part, the bitter part is that there's so many, you just can't play them all. And I have like, I can look around and I got all these fun games that I want to play, and I know for a fact there's no way it'd be impossible to play all of them in the next year. So it's like you have to pick. We are no longer picking to play like a good game over a bad game, you know? It's much easier. I played Monopoly forever when I was a kid. It's much easier to say, oh, well, I'm gonna play this over Monopoly. But now it's like, oh no, I just got these 5 games and they're all amazing. Oh gosh, like how do you even pick? This one's fun for these reasons, this one's fun for those reasons. But those are, I think, don't take that as a complaint. These are good problems to have, right? If you're a gamer, I think, except it costs a lot of money. Yeah, so I appreciate y'all checking out the channel. I'd love to know any of the games that you all have been playing, especially if they're not on my list. I'd be really curious to hear, because I did not play all the games that came out. I know that for a fact. I barely even played all the games that I own, and I would love to find out more. I love trying out new games and just seeing what else is out there. So anything that you played that you love that I didn't mention, please throw it at me. And otherwise, yeah, I'm gonna try to get some videos out much faster. I think my last one was like before Christmas, so that's crazy. That's a long time ago. But yeah, thank you all a bunch for checking it out, and I'll see you next time. See you later.